OK， 我们来继续看键17 Test3 的 Part 1啊，非常常规的填空题啊，大家先预读画好这个字数限制，然后我们一起来预读一下哈。说这个推荐什么呢 ？Surfing 就是冲浪、滑浪啊。然后说 Surfing for 什么 holiday in the summer 啊 ，OK， 推荐去什么 holiday 去 summer 啊，你就听什么 holiday 啊。然后是需要非常的怎么样啊？非常的什么样 ？OK， 然后这下面说这个它有一些 good quality 好质量什么和什么学校啊 ？OK， 考并列对吧？你去听和 school 并列的是什么东西？然后继续往下说OK， 这有一个 school 在什么 beach？OK， 它这边应该会说一个 beach 的名字对吧？我们要预判好。然后 last for 啊，持续 one 什么？那持续多久对吧？可能是 one week、one day、one year、one month 对吧？大家预判好。然后说 also explore the local 什么东西啊，也要去这个当地的什么东西。然后 best month to go 啊，最佳的月份，这边要写一个月份对吧？几月份是最佳的啊？然后呢是这个平均温度大概是多少度啊 ？OK， 这边肯定是要写一个数字吧？啊，大家这边标注好啊，这边是要写一个月份啊，大家做好预判。然后这边是要写名字对吧？大家做好预判，不一定写下来啊，但是大家一定要做好这个预判在心里。然后这边说这个 OK， 这个 wetsuit 和 surfboard 是多少 euro per day 啊？每天多少钱 ？OK， 我们记好这个价格啊。他在说这个价格的时候可能会说很多不同的价格啊，那咱们一定要听好是每天啊，是这个 wetsuit 和 surfboard 每天。他这边说 also advisable to hire 什么 for warmth 啊 ，OK， 为了保暖要租个什么东西 ，OK， 大家就预读好啊。在预读的时候，大家这个时间还是非常紧的，对吧？那就快速预读一下题目啊，抓好每道题的关键点，做好预读预判。我们来一起听一下这篇哈。这边是这个听力原文啊，大家基础好的同学最好就不要看了啊，直接来听啊。基础薄弱的同学可以看着这个原文来跟读啊，精听跟读。OK。
I'm thinking of taking the kids to the seaside on a surfing holiday this summer, and I wanted to ask your advice, as I know you're such an expert.
Well, I don't know about that. But yes, I've done a bit of surfing over the years. I'd thoroughly recommend it. I think it's the kind of holiday all the family can enjoy together.
Holiday 出现了吧？他说 kind of holiday all the families can join 什么 together， 对吧？那他这边应该填哪个词？看啊 ，holiday that all the families can join 啊，对吧 ？family 是不是可以改写成 family holiday 啊？是适合家庭来做的，来这个度假的哈。OK， 这是我们说的这种把这个定语放到后面啊，后置定语啊，把答案拿到前面来考这种情况哈，大家就定位到这 holiday， 然后来听啊，适合什么的 holiday。
The thing about surfing is that it's great for all ages and all abilities.
OK， 适合所有的这个 ages 和 abilities 啊，咱们要听需要怎么样，非常的什么啊
My youngest started when he was only 3.
Wow. But it's quite physically demanding, isn't it?
physically demanding isn't it 啊，非常这个生理上面要求高的，是不是这样吗？
I've heard you need to be pretty fit.
pretty 是不是可以同义替换 quiet 啊 pretty 什么 pretty fit。 然后我们现在听一下这个男生回答是肯定的还是否定的。
Yes, you'll
Yes 肯定了对吧？所以 fit 是可以填的啊。
certainly learn more quickly and won't tire as easily.
Well,
你会学得很快并且不会累对吧？
that should be okay for us. You've been surfing a few times in Ireland, haven't you?
Yes, there's some great surfing there, which people don't always realise.
And which locations would you recommend?
OK， 定位到 location 了，继续听。
There seem to be quite a few.
Yes, there are loads. Last year we went to County Donegal. There
County Donegal 啊，这边并没有出现啊。
are several great places to surf there.
What about in County Clare?
County Clare 定位到
I read that's also really good for surfing.
Yes, it is. I've been there a few times. Most people go to Lahinch. My kids love it there. The waves aren't too challenging and the town is very lively.
Are there good hotels there?
Yes, some very nice ones.
Okay, are there good hotels? OK, 他说这里有 good hotels 吗？他说 yes， 然后这个hotels 是 very nice 的，对吧？对应了这个 good quality 啊，这边 good、nice 都可以对应 good quality hotels， 直接填上，然后我们继续往下听。
And there are also a few basic hostels and campsites.
OK， 这边出现这个干扰项啊 ，hostels 和 campsite， 他说是什么 basic 对吧？非常基本的、基础的，并不是 good quality 对吧？不能对应啊，这边有两个干扰词。
It's great if you need lessons, as the surf schools are excellent.
OK， 定位的这个并列的这个 schools 提到了啊。
Sounds good.
Yes, and there's lots to see in the area, like those well-known cliffs.
Well-known cliffs 啊 ，well-known 同义替换 famous。
I've forgotten the name of them.
Oh, don't worry. I can look them up.
I've also been surfing in County Mayo, which is less well known for surfing, but we had a really good time. That was a few years ago when the kids were younger. There's a good surf school at Karaniski Beach.
OK， 什么 surf school 在什么什么 beach 啊，说了非常长的名字对吧？我们知道现在要考这个拼写了对吧？然后呢，大家第一遍他读这个整体发音的时候，什么 Karaniski Beach 对吧？你先可以有个预判，至少开头应该是 CA 或者 KA 对吧？ OK， 有个预判，然后我们做好准备，开始听这个拼写啊，大家再一起来做一遍。
How do you spell that?
CARROWNISKEY.
Okay.
I put the kids into the surf camp they run during the summer for 10 to
OK， 下一个我们要听它持续多久啊
16-year-olds.
Oh, right. How long was that for?
3
？How long 是不是时间了对吧？我们来听一下。
hours every day for a week.
3 hours every day， 每天3小时 for a week， 持续一周对吧？所以我们要填持续多久？持续一周。
It was perfect. They were so tired out after that.
I can imagine.
One thing we did while the kids were surfing was to rent some kayaks to
kayaks 定位到啊，我们要 explore local 什么东西
have a look around the bay, which is nearby.
OK，look around 是不是到处看看可以对应这个 explore 啊？他说的是 bay 对吧 ？OK， 直接填就可以了。我们继续往下听。
It's really beautiful.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have
OK， 前
some
面他说的这个，我们再听。
Really beautiful.
Oh, I'd love to do...
Thing we did while the kids were surfing was to rent some kayaks to have a look around the bay, which is
Look around 是不是同义替换了 explore？ 我们继续听。
nearby.
The bay that is nearby 啊 ，nearby 在周围对吧？对应这个 local 啊，当地的周边的。
It's really beautiful.
good questions.
Practically every day.
Yes, that can be a problem. But you can surf in the rain, you know.
It doesn't have the same appeal somehow.
Well, the weather's been fine the last couple of years when I've been there. But actually,
我们要听哪个月份是最佳的啊
it tends to rain more in August than in the spring or autumn.
OK，August 比这个 Spring and Autumn 是要更这个下雨更多对吧 ？Rain 啊。
September's my favourite month because
September is my favorite month. Favorite 是不是可以同义替换 best？ 然后他说的是 September 啊。
the water is warmer then.
The only problem is that the kids are back to school then.
I know. But one good thing about Irish summers is that it doesn't get too hot.
It doesn't get too hot 是不是开始说这个温度了 ？OK， 我们这边预读了，我们要填的是这个平均温度啊，大概多少度
The average temperature is about 19 degrees.
？The average temperature is about 是不是 approximately 同义替换是多少？19 degrees 啊。
And it usually doesn't go above 25 degrees.
Doesn't go above 25 degrees. Doesn't go above 就是不会超过，对吧？go above 啊，就不会超过25度，那是最高的。我们这边要填的是 average temperature 啊，平均温度是19度。
That sounds all right. Now, what about costs?
Surfing is a pretty cheap holiday, really. The only cost is the
我们要听每天多少钱啊
hire of equipment.
Equipment.
You can expect to pay a daily rate of about
Daily rate. Daily 是不是对应了这个 per day? OK, 每天是多少钱呢 ？About
30 euros for the hire of a wetsuit and board.
30 euro for hire 这个 wetsuit and surfboard.
But you can save about 40 euros if you hire by the week.
OK, 如果你是 hire by the week, 你可以 save 40 euro. 而这边我们要填什么 day 对吧？每天 daily 的，所以这40是一个干扰项啊。我们继续往下听最后一个，为了保暖要租一个什么东西啊
That's not too bad.
No. It's important to make sure you get good quality wetsuits.
OK, 还是在说这前面的这个 wetsuit 对吧？我们继续往下听。
You'll all get too cold if you don't. And make sure you also get boots.
Boots.
They keep your feet warm.
Feet warm 对吧？他先说这个也要准备好你的 boots， 它可以让你的 feet warm 啊，完全对应。OK， 这就是这篇 Part 1啊，比较常规，考了咱们这个拼写、数字对吧？月份、数字啊。OK， 一定最重要的就是做好预读预判对吧？像这个 one week， 咱们预读预判的时候都已经做好准备了，这个月份都做好准备对吧？金额、数字啊，我们都做好准备了，你听到的时候才能快速反应啊。OK， 我们继续看键17 Test 3的 Part 2啊。先看一下题型，多选、单选、匹配啊，大家最怕3种题型一起出现了啊。我们首先预读，画一下关键词，对吧？看啊，哪两个什么我 given about the OK 这个什么 extended our childcare service OK 就说这个照看孩子这个服务啊，哪两个是正确的？我们预读一下啊，最近开始的 OK 就以前没有，最近开设的啊。第二个说的是 more children attend 这个 after school than before school 啊，就是说 after school 放学后的比上学前的这个要更多啊。OK 我们来看啊。然后是 an average of 这么多 OK 是平均是50个啊，在早晨50个孩子在早晨，然后 cannot both OK 就说这两个不能一起参加啊。OK 你预读到这里的时候你大概有个预判啊，就是它这种照看孩子的服务啊，可能有上学前的上学后的时间段的啊，不同时间段的。然后最后说这个最多啊70个人70个孩子 OK 我们预读好了啊。继续看这个单选题OK 第一个说的就是这个价格对吧？然后什么的价格呢 complete afternoon section 啊，就是这个完整的价格啊。第二个说的是食物啊，如果说这个过敏的话啊，也要自己带食物啊。第二个说的是孩子可以带健康零食啊。第三个说的是5点的时候有一个 proper meal 啊，有一个正餐。然后不同啊有什么区别啊 in school holiday 和学校这个假日有什么不同啊 A 说的是其他学校的也可以参加啊。第二个说的是大孩子也可以参加。第三个说的是非常多孩子参加啊。OK 我们预读好，匹配等会儿再预读啊。咱们先预读完这些之后呢，来一起听一下啊，一起做一下题。
Mrs. Carter, and I run the before and after school extended hours childcare service. I hope you've had a chance to have a good look around the school and talk to staff and pupils. I know that many of you are interested in using our childcare service when your child joins the school, and perhaps you already know something about it. But for those that don't, I'll go through the main details now.
OK 都是废话啊，简单介绍一下，然后说我现在要开始介绍了啊。你之前不了解也没关系，我现在要介绍了。
We offer childcare for children from the ages of 4 to 11.
OK 面向4 to 11的孩子对吧？
Both before and after school.
OK both before and after school 啊，就是说这个上学放学这两种都有啊。OK 这只是并列出现对吧？还没有说这个哪个多，我们继续听啊。
I know that many parents who work find this service invaluable.
OK 是 invaluable.
You can leave your child with us, safe in the knowledge that they will be extremely well cared for.
OK 照看很好，继续。
We are insured to provide care for up to 70 children.
Up to 70 children 啊 up to 70 children after 70 children 啊，它这边有一个这个连读啊，也就是说最多是70个孩子，完全可以对应吧。那我们先把 E 先放到这里。
Although we rarely have this many attending at any one session.
Okay, we're rarely having this number 就是说通常没有这么多人真的参加，但我们最多是70个孩子。
I think we generally expect around 50 to 60 children
50 to 60 children 啊。
For the afternoon session.
是 afternoon section 对吧？而这边这个我们前面预读这边是 morning session 啊 OK。
And about half that number for the breakfast sessions.
OK 早晨的是多少 breakfast 是它的一半对吧 half of the number 那就是25到30左右 OK 这是下午的这是早晨的啊。
Although we currently do have 70 children registered with us, not all of these attend every day.
OK 有70个孩子会 registered with us 但是不是所有的孩子每天都参加啊。
It's 10 years since we began offering an extended hours service.
It's 10 years 啊，已经10年了。而这边说是最近才开设，那是驳斥的吧 ？A 不能选啊。前面这个50到60是 afternoon 啊，不是 morning， 所以 C 也不能选。我们继续往下听。
We've come a long way during that time. When we first opened, we only had about 20 children attending regularly.
Okay, first open 啊，我们第一次开设的时候只有20个孩子。
We try to keep our costs as low as we can.
OK 提到 cost 了吧？我们要把这个 cost 放到 as long as we 什么 as low as we can 啊，就是价格尽量低，是不是要开始做单选题了？那多选题就已经听完了。但这边我们看啊，我们只选到了一个 E 选项，对吧？我们再看一下 B 和 D 啊，这个工作大家可以整个听完这个听力之后，还有空闲时间的时候过来看，好吧？最后不是有这个检查时间吗？笔考10分钟，机考2分钟啊。OK， 这时候我们来看这个 B 选项说什么 ？More children attend after school than before school。我们前面不是说了吗？这个下午的afternoon 是50到60个，早晨的是25到30。那是不是这个下午的要比早晨的多？这个 B 是可以对应上的啊。所以这要去选的是 B、E， 然后 D 说的是不能同时参加2个，这个没有提及，对吧？所以 D 不能选。OK， 多选题选的是 B、E 啊。这作为 Part 2的第一道题还是比较有难度的啊，一个多选题。OK， 我们继续往下听。
think we provide very good value for money. For the
money 啊，也都是在说价格，但是我们要听啊，我们要听的是这个 complete afternoon session 啊，是下午的这个完整的这个课程啊。如果他说早晨的，我们不能选，对吧？早晨的价格不能选啊。如果不是完整的价格，我们也不能选啊。OK， 这个金额他经常会说一些干扰你的啊。
Afternoon sessions which run from 3:30 until 6 p.m. It's
3:30 to 6 p.m. 这是时间，对吧？我们要选的是价格啊，继续听。
£7.20.
£7.20.
But if you prefer, you can pay for 1 hour only, which costs £3.50.
Okay, £3.50 是 1 hour only 啊 ，or
hours, which
2 hours
costs £5.70.
£5.50 是 2 hours 对吧 ？OK， 我们要选的是什么？完整的课程对吧？不是按小时卖的，所以这道题选的就是 C 啊。我们继续往下听。
The cost of the childcare includes food and snacks.
开始说 food and snacks 了对吧？我们要来听一下啊。过敏的话是不是要自己带食物啊？是不是可以自己带健康零食？5点是不是有一个正餐
They'll be given breakfast in the morning and in the afternoon, a healthy snack as soon as they finish school.
OK, healthy snacks 是我们提供的对吧？而这边说是孩子自己带，所以 B 不对应。我们继续往下听。
At 5 p.m., children are given something more substantial, such as pasta or a casserole.
OK， 这个5 p.m. 会给 pasta 什么的东西啊 ？OK， 可以对应一个饭吧？那我们可以先对应上啊，继续往下听。
Please inform us of any allergies that your child might have.
Allergy 出现了吧？过敏，我们来听。
And we'll make sure they're offered a suitable alternative.
Suitable alternatives. OK， 如果他过敏的话，要告诉我们，我们会给他 alternatives， 就是替换品，对吧？不是说让你们自己带饭，对吧？所以 A 不能对应啊，这道题选的也是 C。我们继续往下听下一道啊，有什么不同？其他学校的人能不能来参加？大孩子能不能参加？是不是很多人参加
As you may know, the childcare service runs through the school holidays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We offer a really varied and
varied 是不是这种多样的、不同的，可以对应 different 吧 ？OK， 我们继续听啊，有什么不一样的呢
exciting program to keep the children entertained. We don't want them to feel as if they are still at school. It will also feel different because they'll get the chance to make new friends with
different 啊，听到了以后 chance to make friends with 什么啊？和谁交朋友
children from other schools.
OK, make friends with children from other school 和其他学校的孩子交朋友，是不是其他学校的孩子也会在这儿？所以 A 可以选啊。我们继续听。
Spaces are available for them, because a lot of our term time children don't always attend during
OK, a lot of 什么 children don't attend 对吧？是很多孩子不参加，而这边说的是大量的孩子参加，这不能对应。我们继续
the holiday. In the past, parents have asked if children over the age of 11
OK, children over the age of 11啊，看看能不能参加。
are allowed to come with their younger brothers and sisters, but I'm afraid we're unable to do this.
I'm afraid we're unable to do this 啊，我还担心我们不能做啊，所以说 B 不能选啊 ，B 驳斥了，对吧？OK, I'm afraid of that 什么什么 we can't do this 啊，来听一下。
Parents have asked if children over the age of 11 are allowed to come with their younger brothers and sisters, but I'm afraid we're unable to.
OK, I'm afraid we're unable 啊，我们不能这样做啊，所以说 B 不能选。然后 C 也没说大量吧，所以这道题选的就是 A 啊。OK, 这就是这个多选单选题，单选比较简单吧，都比较直接。这个多选这边主要是这个 B 选项啊，比较有干扰，大家要注意一下。OK, 我们继续来预读一下这个匹配，然后再来听匹配啊。首先先预读一下，说 limited availability 啊，说 no longer availability 啊，两个都是 available 相关的，对吧？一个说的是有限啊，就说有限制。OK, 就是说这个限制实行，对吧？第二个说的是不再实行啊，不能，对吧 ？OK, 你可以在这旁边画一个八叉啊，提醒一下自己。这边说的是只有8岁以上的孩子可以参加。这边说的是要家长帮忙这边说额外费用是新的，你就看它是不是新的，然后是孩子们 request 要求 requested 孩子们要求的。OK, 这匹配题啊，看选这个题目都是原词，对吧？你直接按顺序往下听就可以了。然后这些选项都是花式改写，我们待会儿来看怎么改写的啊。
Do this.
Question 20.
As well as being able to use the playground equipment, computers, and the library, there is usually at least one special activity that children can do each day. For example, Spanish. We have
Spanish 原词出现了吧？我们来听啊。
Specialist teacher coming in every Thursday to give a basic introduction to the language through
OK, 老师非常的 special 啊，但是这选项里面没有老师相关的吧？
games and songs. She does 2 sessions.
She does 2 sessions, 有2部分。
One for the over 8s.
One for the over 8s over 8s 出现了吧？他说其中一个是 over 8s， 我们来看看是不是只适合于这个 over 8s 的啊。
And one for the younger children.
One for the younger children. OK, 另外一组是面向这个年纪更小的孩子，那是不是并不是说只有8岁的孩子可以参加，对吧？所以 C 不能选啊。我们继续往下听。
This is the only activity which we have to make an extra charge for.
OK, extra charge 啊 ，extra charge 额外的这个收费，对吧？是不是可以对应这边的这个 additional fee？ 所以预读非常重要吧？咱们预读的时候看到 additional fee 啊，额外费用 extra charge， 听到时才能快速反应啊。所以这个第一题选的是 E。我们继续往下听。
But it's well worth it.
OK, 很值得。
Once a week, the children have the opportunity to do some music.
Music 出现了吧？我们来听 music 它是怎么改写的啊
We're very lucky that one of our staff is a member of a folk band.
OK, one of our staff 我们的员工怎么样
On Mondays, she teaches singing and percussion to groups of children. We do rely on parental support for this. So
Parental support 出现了吧 Parental support 这个父母的帮助。OK, 继续听。
if any of you sing or play
If any of you sing or play 什么东西啊？就说你们中的某一个你们他现在是在给家长介绍，对吧 ？Any one of you 也就是说你们中的如果说会唱歌会怎么样，可以加入到我们
an instrument and would be prepared to help out at these sessions.
OK, prepare to help us OK, 来帮助我们，对吧 ？OK, 那这边这个 help 可以对应 support help， 对吧 ？Parents 可以对应 parental 吧 ？OK, 所以这边就是 D 是完全对应的这个音乐这个课需要家长们的参与，家长们的帮助
We'd be delighted. Painting continues to be one of the
Painting 原词出现我们来听它是怎么改写的。
most popular activities.
非常的欢迎这选项里面没有欢迎吧
To begin with, we weren't keen on offering this because of the extra mess involved, but children kept asking if they could do some art.
OK, children kept asking 不停的问我们，对吧？孩子们问我们怎么样
And so we finally gave in.
So we finally giving 所以我们最后妥协了。OK, 也就是说孩子们要求的我们妥协了。前面咱们预读是不是有一个 OK， 这个 requested by children 嘛，这 keep asking 不就是request 的意思吗？一直问啊，不就是他们要求吗？而是 children 的要求，对吧？所以这道题选的是 G。我们继续往下听 yoga 啊。
Art is great for helping the children to relax after working hard at school all day. Yoga is something that
yoga 开始听 yoga 怎么改写的
we've been meaning to introduce for some time, but haven't been able to find anyone available to teach it. Until now, that is.
OK， 就是说后来我们一直 unavailable 啊，我们以前一直不能做，但是 until now 现在可以了，对吧？也就是说以前不行，现在可以。我们前面阅读的时候有一个说的是这个 new activity， 对吧？是一个新的啊，咱们可以对应上。我们再听一遍这里啊，他怎么说的
？Yoga is something that we've been meaning to introduce for some time.
啊，我们以前就想做啊，但是
but haven't been able to find anyone.
But haven't been able to find anyone
available to teach it.
Available to teach it. OK， 我们一直想开这个 yoga 课，但是we haven't 什么 being able to find anyone。OK， 来 teach 这门课，对吧？就说我们一直想要开这门课，但是没有找到合适的人来开。Until now， 直到现在，对吧？也就是说，以前没有开，现在开了，这是一个新的活动，可以选啊。
Until now, that is. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, children will benefit in all sorts of ways from this. Cooking is another popular activity.They make a different sort of cake or pizza or bread each week.
OK， 这是具体做的东西，对吧 ？Cake 什么 pizza 什么的。
Although the younger children love doing it,
younger children 喜欢做啊。
We found that the mess was just too much.
Mess too much 啊，这个垃圾太多了，太脏乱了。
So we've decided to restrict this to the over 8s.
Over 8啊，我们要 restrict it to the over 8 OK， 就是说只有8岁以上的可以参加。前面预读的时候 over 8直接原词出现，对吧 ？Only 啊，只有，那这边不就对应的 restrict 吗？限制啊，那不就是只有的意思吗 ？OK， 这样选的是 C。OK， 这就是这篇这个匹配题啊。大家看匹配题目是不是都是原词？按顺序往下听就可以了。定位到之后呢，来听后面是怎么描述的。这描述内容全是咱们说的同义替换改写吧。一定要多背多积累才能敏感，才能快速反应啊。至于你听不听得出来这些同义替换啊，那关键在于要做精听跟读啊，不然你听不懂也白瞎，对吧？所以说这个匹配题啊，最关键3步，第一要预读。OK， 你要预读这个题目，对吧？然后第二呢，要精听，你要听得懂吧？然后第三呢，你听懂之后，你要能反映出来这些同义替换啊。OK， 所以这是匹配题最关键的3个这个内容啊。OK， 这就是这篇 Part 2。OK， 我们继续来看17-3-3啊。这篇 Part 3是选择加匹配啊，比较常规的题型啊。咱们先来预读一下哈。第一题说他选择 OK 这个什么 placement。因为什么 ？OK， 原因对吧？因为有小孩，因为在户外，因为听着有趣啊。第二个说的是 OK 什么哪方面的安全啊是最强调的？第一个说的是孩子要待在这里 stadium 里面。第二个说的是检查设备啊。第三个说的是移除障碍啊。第三题说关于这个 spectators 说的什么啊？第一个说的是很难管。第二个说的是有用的志愿者，第三个说的是不能拍照啊，不准拍照。OK， 你标记一下。然后最后一个说的是在过去啊，这 schedule 在过去怎么样啊？怎么被影响的 ？OK， 坏天气、受伤啊，额外的时间。OK， 我们先预读完这个单选题，先来听一下单选啊。
Mr. Green, I'm here to talk to you about my work placement.
Oh yes, it's Holly, isn't it?
Yes.So,
which work placement have you chosen?
I decided to go for the Orion Stadium placement.
OK, Orion 什么 Stadium placement. OK, 他说了这个之后呢，他是不是该说原因了？我为什么选这个？我们来听一下啊。
The event I'll be managing is one where I'm helping to set up a sports competition for primary school children.
OK, 一个 competition 啊，把primary school children 啊，这是在描述这个内容，对吧 ？OK, 他是去。参加这么一个比赛啊，孩子们的比赛，然后我们来听一下这男生怎么说，老师怎么说。
That's always a popular placement, even though it can be tougher than you think, working with children.
OK, tough 对吧？男生说的是这个 working with children 是很 tough 的。我们来听一下女生怎么说。
No, but it's the fresh air that attracts me.
But OK， 这是它前面的内容吧？后面说什么 ？But it's the fresh air attract me. Fresh air 新鲜空气是不是户外相对应？我们继续往下听。
Organising something indoors doesn't have the same appeal.
OK，indoor 是 doesn't 什么什么 appeal 对吧？他说 indoor 室内是什么 doesn't 什么什么 appeal 啊 ？OK， 没那么有吸引力啊！你听不懂这个，你听懂一个 doesn't 一个否定对吧 ？indoor 否定掉了啊，他喜欢是 outdoor。OK， 所以这道题选的是 B 啊。
Even though it might be fun.
OK，fun 是原词出现，但这边说的是这个 indoor 对吧？而不是这个活动啊，所以这是一个干扰项。OK， 所以这道题选的是 B 啊。他提到了这个 children， 但是男生说了 children 是会很 tough 啊，跟小孩一起工作是很难的。然后女生说怎么，但是啊，我喜欢的是这个新鲜空气啊，所以他选择这里的原因是新鲜空气，也就是室外啊。这要选的是 B。我们继续往下听啊，这个安全方面什么最重要？
So obviously safety is going to be one
Safety 定位到，开始做题。
of your key concerns for this event.
Yes, I've already thought about that. I'll need to make sure none of the equipment's damaged.
OK， 我需要这个检查这些 equipment 对吧？看一下这是不是最重要，这个老师这个 Dr. Green 最强调的啊。
Well, you'll be working with schools, so the equipment will be their responsibility.
OK， 他说这个 equipment 会非常的 responsibility 啊，并没有说重点强调。我们继续往下听。However 后面是不是重点强调 ？But however 后面重点强调啊。However 什么呢
？Grounds and what goes on there will be yours.
Oh, I see.
Be working with schools, so the equipment will be their responsibility.
OK， 我们听 however 后面内容啊。
However, the grounds and what goes on there will be yours.
Oh, I see. That'll include keeping everyone within the boundary once they're in their kit.
OK，keeping everyone in the boundary 啊 ，boundary 这个词咱们在这个地图题当中啊反复说啊，边界的意思。keep 就是保持对吧 ？keep everyone in the boundary 啊 ，within the boundary 就是说让这人们在这个边界当中，对吧？让这些孩子在这个边界当中不要出去啊，是不是可以对应第一个选项这个 ensure them stay 啊 ？OK， 我们继续往下听。
And on the field?
Exactly.OK， 这个老师肯定了，对吧
？You'll need to inspect areas like changing rooms as well for anything someone can trip over.
OK， 要 changing room 啊，改变。
But your main priority will be
your main priority. Main priority 是什么？最重要的是优先事项，对吧？是不是可以对应 most 最强调的事儿是什么呢
？Not to lose anyone.
Not to lose everyone 啊 ，anyone 啊，不能丢掉任何人、任何小孩啊，不要把小孩弄丢了。也就是说，要确保这些小孩待在这里没有问题啊。所以这道题描述两遍都是在说 A 选项。
Right, I'll need staff to help with that.
And don't forget about the spectators.
Spectators 啊，出现了吧？定位到准备做题啊，是很难管理啊。这个志愿者很有用，还是说不能照相啊
？I was thinking that many of them will be parents who could help run the event.
OK， 他说了，我认为啊，大多数都是 parents 啊，他们可以 help to run the event 啊，他们可以帮助我们来运营这个活动啊。
I wouldn't rely on that.
I wouldn't rely on that. 我觉得别靠这个啊，不靠谱。
They'll be more interested in filming their children than volunteering.
OK， 他说什么 ？They are more interested in filming children than volunteering 啊。很多同学听到一个 volunteer 啊，原词直接选了，但这边说的是什么 ？They are more interested in filming their children， 对吧？是给孩子们这个拍录影 than volunteering 啊，而不是这个照相，而不是这个叫什么啊 volunteering 志愿啊，所以说这个志愿者是被否定掉的啊。OK， 所以 B 不能选啊。然后呢，这边 filming。这个 children 就是说给孩子们摄影啊，他并没有否定说不能摄影，对吧？我们继续往下听啊。
I'll need to make sure they don't interfere with events doing that.
OK， 我要确保他们不会 interfere the event 啊，他们不能这个干扰我们的活动啊。
And that's not always easy.
这不简单啊 ，not always easy 是不是可以同义替换 hard？ 这可不简单 ，OK。Especially
when a proud parent's trying to get a snap of their child.
Get a snap of their child. Get snap 啊 ，snapshot 大家都知道吧？就是这个什么东西啊 就是说拍照的意思啊，快门拍照之类的意思。OK，snap 这里指就是拍照，同义替换的 photograph 啊。他说人们一直在给这个小孩拍照啊。
And you want them to move elsewhere?
你希望他们挪一下位置啊 ，OK， 所以说并没有说拍照是不允许的吧 ，C 也可以排除掉，那这道题排除法也可以选 A 说是 hard to manage 啊，前面说的 not easy 对吧，对应了这个 hard 啊，就是说这边这些大人啊一直给小孩拍照啊，非常的难管理啊，我要一直让他们挪一挪位置啊，别干扰这个活动啊 ，interfere the event。OK， 我们继续往下听。
Okay.What about the scheduling?
With sporting events, there are all sorts of things that can alter the timetable, like rain for...
OK， 这边这个 scheduling timetable 都可以对应这个 schedule 对吧 ？OK， 我们来看一下这边他说在过去怎么样了。
Though so far we've always been lucky with that. With sporting events, there are all sorts of things that can alter the timetable, like rain for instance.Rain
下雨对吧？是不是可以对应 bad weather？
Though so far we've always been lucky with that.
So far we're lucky with that 啊，就说目前为止我们都还比较幸运，所以没有被它影响吧。题目让你选被哪个事情影响了啊，所以这个 rain 没有被影响啊，这个极端天气没有影响我们。继续往下听。
Yeah, and I was thinking about what to do if someone got hurt.
Got hurt, get hurt 受伤是不是同义替换了 injury？OK， 受伤怎么样呢？继续往下听。
As well, I know that last year that caused a terrible delay.
OK，last year 我知道去年发生了啊。Last year 这个是不是可以同义替换 in the past？OK， 去年有人受伤了，是不是可以对应过去有人受伤了 ？B 可以直接选。我们继续往下听啊。
You have to be prepared for such things.
Oh, what if a match
你必须要做好准备啊。
ends in a draw?Do you let the teams keep going until someone wins?
That'll be up to you. And again, you need to plan for it.
Right.
OK， 你要做好准备，跟这个计划啊，跟这个题目就没关系了。OK， 这边就是这个单选题啊，把同义替换积累好。我们继续往下看这个匹配啊，先要预读一下，对吧？咱们一起预读一下。这边这个题干就不用管了啊，都是原词，对吧？咱们就来看这个同义替换，然后这边它会同义替换改写掉啊。我们来看这个选项，它会把这些选项的同义替换改写掉。第一个说什么 flexible 啊，要够灵活。第二个说的是要关注细节。第三个说的什么 appearance 是外观，对吧？外观外貌要足够的这个聪明啊，机智啊，也就是说这外观外貌方面的事儿。D 说的是 hide emotion 啊，藏住你的情绪，不要表露你的情绪啊。E 说的是依靠专家啊。F 说的是Trust your own your own views 啊，就说要相信你自己的观点啊，要坚持自己。然后 G 说的是 doing one thing at a time， 一次只做一件事儿啊。H 说的是 think of the children 啊，这个 future 啊，说要想一想未来啊，要往前看，想想未来啊。OK， 我们来看一下这个题目啊，我们再听一下，一起听一下。
Answer questions 25 to 30.
So let's talk about those a bit.
Well, I think my communication skills are pretty
Communication 原词定位到了吧？我们开始听 communication 它是怎么改写的啊
good. I can talk on the phone to people and book venues and that kind of thing.
Good.
OK， 我可以做好这些事儿啊，什么各种各样的一些细节啊，都是 communication 的内容啊，我都做得很好。看一下这老师怎么说。
Just remember, it isn't only about what you say.
OK， 记住啊，沟通并不是 only what you say 啊，并不只是你说的话叫沟通啊。
If you meet someone face to face and want to persuade them to be a sponsor, for example.
如果你和某人是这个 face to face 啊，面对面。
Oh, I'll dress up for that, sure.
Good.
OK，I'll dress up for that 啊 ，dress up 什么意思？穿衣服对吧？咱们前面是不是说到了？然后这个老师啊，肯定了他对吧？说 good 啊，说的对啊。所以说这道题应该选的是 dress up 相关的，对吧？咱们刚刚预读的时候读到了一个 appearance 是不是外观？穿衣服是不是外观外貌的事儿 ？OK， 所以这道题可以把 C 选到这里啊。我们继续往下听。
Let's go on to think about your
organization 原词定位到，我们继续往下听。
skills. You're working in a very people-based industry, and that means things won't always go to plan.
OK， 什么 people-based 啊 ，always good to plan 啊，做好计划。继续往下听。
I guess it's being prepared to make changes that matters.
OK，prepare changes 啊，什么做好准备，然后什么有什么改变。继续往下听。
That's right. You may have to make an on-the-spot change to a timetable because of a problem you hadn't anticipated.
OK， 什么 change， 什么 timetable 啊 ？OK， 你听到他说了2遍，改变啊，改变，然后 timetable。时间表对吧？要改变啊，根据这个时间表有所变化。咱们前面预读的时候是不是有一个选项是 flexible， 要足够灵活啊？你要这个什么啊？就是说要灵活的改变啊，灵机应对啊。OK， 灵机应变之类的啊。OK， 就是说要够灵活啊，要知道怎么改变啊，视情况而定。我们继续往下听。
Just do it.
Okay.How's your time management
time management 定位到，我们来看它是怎么改写的。
these days?
I'm working on it. I'm certainly better when I have a deadline.
OK，I'm working on it， 我在努力啊。但当有这个 deadline 的时候，我会觉得不错啊。
Which is why this work suits me.
Yes, but it's how you respond as that deadline approaches.
How you respond？ 你是怎么反应的？你怎么应对的？
I know I've got to look calm.
I know I got to look calm. 我知道我要看起来非常的 calm， 非常的镇定。
Even if I'm in a panic.
Even if I'm in a panic， 即使我很恐慌，我也要表现得非常的 calm 啊。看这边的这个 calm， 镇静对吧？还有一个什么 panic 吗 ？panic 恐惧对吧？大家看一下这个 calm、panic， 这都是讲什么的？讲情绪的，对吧？咱们前面阅读的时候不是有一个 hide your emotion 啊？你很恐慌，但你要表现得很镇定，是不是对应了 hide your emotion？ 就一句话换个说法，对吧 ？OK 啊，这个跟不上的同学可以看这边的这个原文啊。基础好一点的同学最好是可以直接精听啊，直接靠听来做。OK， 所以这道题可以选的是这个情绪相关的啊。继续往下听。
Just think to yourself, no one must know I'm under pressure.
Yeah, even though I'm multitasking.
OK，no one 什么 I'm in pressure， 不要让别人知道你在压力当中啊，就是说藏住你的情绪啊。
Like crazy.
OK，crazy 这说的也都是情绪吧。
OK。Another skill that events managers need is creativity.
Creativity。Often
your client has what we call the big picture idea.
OK， 你的 client 会有一个 big picture idea 啊。Picture 什么意思？除了这个照片之外，它还可以表示这种宏观的这种一个整体的一个局面，对吧？这种整体的趋势、整体的局面。OK， 他说你的 client 会有一个很大的宏观局面。
But it's up to the events manager to think of all the fine points that go to making it work.
OK， 你要想的是所有 fine points， 对吧？所有的这种具体的这些点啊 ，points 就是大家在做汇报的时候这种一个一个点的，对吧？ points 啊，这些细节的一些点。OK， 我们继续往下听。
Right. So I need to listen carefully to that idea and.
So I need to listen carefully to that idea. So 我要关注，就是说要好好的听 manager 说的这些小的这些细节点啊。
Then fill in all the gaps.
Fill in all the gaps 啊，把这二者之间的 gap 要把它给填满啊。
That's right. And you'll have.
That's right. 对啊。OK， 这道题可能我们看一下选项里面合适的啊。第一个说是 details， 这不是说嘛，你的客户是这种比较 big picture 的宏观的大局的，而你们要做的是这些fine points， 对吧？要关注这些小的点，可以对应细节，对吧 ？B 没有问题啊。再来往下看这个专家啊，因为刚才这个录音里面说到了一个 manager， 很多同学说 manager 算不算专家啊？就把它选上了。但是大家要想啊 ，manager 是一个这个。就是说这种企业当中的一个职务啊 ，expert 是专家啊 ，manager 和专家不一定是相等的，所以这个 E 不太合适。OK， 然后这边没有说自己的观点，坚持观点，没有说一次做一件事儿，没说未来，对吧？所以这边选的就是 B。OK， 我们继续往下听啊，这个 leadership。
A team working under you. So another key skill is leadership.
Leadership.
Your team may have lots of ideas too.
Okay, your team may have lots of ideas. 你的团队可能会有很多的 ideas.
But you've got to make the ultimate choices.
But you need to get the 什么 optimize choices. 你要做出最优解，对吧 ？OK， 我们继续往下听。
Do we have refreshments inside or out, for example?
Isn't it better
举了个例子啊。
to be democratic?Democratic
啊，是不是要更加民主一点？继续听。
It's a nice idea, but
It's a nice idea， 是个好主意，但是 but
you have the ultimate responsibility. So believe in what you think best.
Okay, you think the best 啊，你是队长，你要you think the best 啊，你要自己决定啊。
Be prepared to say, yes, that's a good idea, but it won't work here.
Okay, be prepared to say 啊，要时刻准备好说什么呢 ？You get a good idea, but 什么什么啊，就是说，哎，你说的很好，但是怎么样啊？要准备好这样的一些话术，意思就是说要，虽然每个人都会有自己的观点啊，但你要坚持自己啊。咱们前面阅读的时候有一道说 trust your own views 啊，你要坚持自己的观点，所以这边对应的是 F。I
see what you mean.What about the networking side of things?
Networking.
I know it's an area that a lot of students worry about because we don't have much experience to offer others.
OK, 很多同学很担心啊，没有太多时间。
But even without it, you can still be an interesting person with.
他说，即使没有这个 networking 啊，你也一样会 be an interesting person 啊。
Useful ideas, and the more people you impress, the better.The
more people you impress, the better.
I guess that will help me when I apply for a real job.
Exactly.
OK, 当我要升工作的时候，可能会有帮助啊。
Think ahead. Remember what your ambitions are.
Think ahead 啊，往前看，对吧 ？Think ahead, your ambition 啊，你的这个雄心壮志。
And keep them in mind.
Keep them in mind 啊，记住你的雄心壮志啊，朝前看。我们看一下剩下这两个选项。G 和 H， 一个说是一次只做一件事，一个说的是未来啊。Think ahead， 朝前看，是不是就可以对应这个想一想未来，对吧？都有 think， 然后一个 ahead， 一个 future， 可以对应啊。所以这道题剩下的里面合适的也只有 H 啊。OK， 这就是这篇 Part 3啊，比较常规，难度不算大啊。这个匹配一定原词定位，然后同义替换改写来选啊。听不懂的地方要坚持精听。OK， 我们继续来看这个17、3、4啊，这个 Part 4一个词啊，咱们先一起来预读一下啊。这31题说，看啊，这边有一个并列，对吧？他说 is believed 是 bird 什么什么 under water 啊，在水下面，或者 bury themselves in 啊 ，bury in 把什么埋在什么里，对吧 ？OK， 除了把自己放在这个水下，还会把自己埋在哪儿啊 ？OK， 这讲的是鸟迁徙 ，OK， 鸟迁徙相关的啊。咱们继续看下一题说。在秋天，对吧？会观测到他们什么 loss of 会缺少什么东西，并且怎么样 turn into robins 啊 ？OK， 我们来定位缺少什么东西啊？然后再下一个说的是 assumption logical 啊，这听起来很有道理，因为这两种鸟会有相似的什么东西啊？我们就去听这两种鸟有相似的什么啊？下一个说的是在冬天啊，他说冬天的时候鸟会飞到哪儿去啊 ？fly to 哪里？然后这边有个时间可以帮你定位，他说什么 Germany which had an African spear in its OK 什么有一个 spears 在它的哪里啊，在它哪儿有个 spears OK 在36题说 previously 之前 there's no 啊，之前没有什么东西 OK that migrate to Africa OK 之前没什么东西啊，然后这边说 little was known 啊，知道的很少，什么东西很少呢 OK 我们要听什么东西知道的很少啊，还有什么东西 OK 这边又考并列吧，什么和 journey 知道的很少啊。继续往下看下一个说一个大的什么东西啊 cross OK incapable of 不能旅行穿过很大的什么东西啊，穿过很大的山什么的啊 OK 我们来看一下到底是什么啊。下面这边说 called 什么 OK 有一个引号的这种专有名词对吧，然后最后说的是31年的时候有一个什么第一个什么东西啊，第一个展示这个鸟类迁徙的什么被 printed 啊，第一个什么东西被这个 printed 啊，可能是杂志、报纸啊、书籍等等的，对吧？我们到时候就去听是什么。OK， 我们一起来听一下这篇 Part 4。
Scientists believe that a majority of the Earth's bird population migrate in some fashion or other. Some travel seasonally for relatively short distances, such as birds that move from their winter habitats in lowlands to mountaintops for the summers. Others, like the Arctic tern, travel more than 25,000 miles seasonally between the northern and southern poles.
OK， 这还是在说这个 seasoning 的 migrate 啊，并没有提到这个 underwater 和埋什么东西啊，连这边这个什么 hibernation 都没有提到啊。我们继续往下听。
Bird migration has been studied over many centuries through a variety of observations. But until relatively recently, where birds went to in the winter was considered something of a mystery. The lack of modern science and technology led to many theories that we now recognize as
many theories 啊，是不是要开始介绍这些理论了？我们继续听。
error-filled and even somewhat amusing. Take hibernation theory for
Hibernation theory 终于出现了吧？我们开始听啊。
example. 2,000 years ago, it was commonly believed that when birds left an area, they went underwater to
Underwater 出现了吧？我们来看跟它并列的是什么啊？除了在水下，还会在哪里？是土里面还是怎么样？石头里啊，等等的，大家来听啊。
hibernate in the seas and oceans.
Seas and oceans 指的就是 underwater 吧 ？Seas, oceans 啊。OK， 我们继续听啊。
Another theory for the regular appearance and disappearance of birds was that they spent winter hidden in mud till
Hidden in mud 啊，在泥土当中，对吧 ？Hidden in mud 就是藏在土里啊，把自己埋在这个泥土里啊，泥巴里。OK， 它这边这个 an or 啊并列，它是怎么说的？说是 another 对吧？这是我们说的这些表示并列的一些词组啊，一定要会背的。OK， 第一题就听完了，我们继续往下听啊。在秋天的时候怎么样
the weather changed and food became abundant again. The theory that some birds hibernate persisted until experiments were done on caged birds in the 1940s, which demonstrated that birds have no hibernation instinct. One of the earliest naturalists and philosophers from ancient Greece was Aristotle, who was the first writer to discuss the disappearance and reappearance of some bird species at certain times of year. He developed the theory of transmutation, the seasonal change of one species into another by observing redstarts and robins. He observed that in the autumn, small birds called
in autumn 出现了吧？在秋天的时候会怎么样啊？我们要听这些，他们会怎么样？丧失什么东西啊
Redstarts began to lose their feathers.
Lose their feathers 啊，这非常明显的一个复数吧 ？Lose their feathers 啊 ，lose 和这个 loss of 对应吧 ？Lose their feathers 啊，一定这个复数，大家听得非常清楚啊。我们继续往下听，看因为这两种鸟啊有什么相似的什么东西。
Which convinced Aristotle that they changed into robins for the winter and back into redstarts in the summer. These assumptions are understandable, given that this
understandable 啊，就是听得懂的啊，也就对应这边 logical 啊，听起来有道理的。OK， 我们继续往下听。
pair of species are similar in shape.
啊，这些 species are similarly in 什么 shape？OK， 继续往下听。
But are a classic example of an incorrect interpretation based on correct observations. The most bizarre theory was put forward by an English amateur scientist, Charles Morton,
Charles Morton 定位到
in the 17th
听一下冬天的时候鸟要飞到哪儿去啊
century. He wrote a surprisingly well-regarded paper, claiming that birds migrate to the moon and back every
To the moon 对吧 OK 他说这个他这边说的是 migrate 啊 migrate 对应了 fly to 对吧飞到哪儿去那不就是迁徙到哪儿吗 OK 他认为这个鸟是迁徙到了月球上去啊在冬天的时候
year. He came to this conclusion as the only logical explanation for the total disappearance of some species. One of the key moments in the development of migration theory came in 1822.
1822 定位到
When a white stork was shot
shot
in Germany.
in Germany 啊 shot 被这个枪击中啊那不就是 killed 吗
This particular stork made history because of the long spear in
long spear 出现了吧 long spear 是 in 在哪里呀
its neck when a white stork was shot in Germany. This particular stork made history because of the long spear in its neck.
in its neck 对吧直接出现了 in its neck 直接填 neck 就可以了继续往下听啊之前没有什么 previously no 什么东西
Which incredibly had not killed it. everyone immediately realized this spear was definitely not European. It turned out to be a spear from a tribe in Central Africa. This was a truly defining moment in the history of ornithology, because it was the first evidence that storks spend their winters in sub-Saharan Africa.
OK, Africa. 他刚刚说什么 ？It's the first evidence， 对吧？第一个，那不就是之前没有的吗 ？OK， 这边这个 previously no 同义替换了 first， 他说的是 first evidence。我们继续听一下。
Truly defining moment in the history of ornithology, because it was the first evidence that.
Because it's the first evidence 啊 ，first 第一个，那不就是之前没有的吗 ？Previously no 啊。OK， 我们继续往下听，说 little was known 啊，关于什么知道的很少。关于什么和旅途啊，知道的很少。
Storks spend their winters in sub-Saharan Africa. You can still see the arrow stork in the zoological collection of the University of Rostock in Germany. People gradually became aware that European birds moved south in autumn and north in summer, but didn't know much about
Didn't know 啊，是不是对应了这个 little was known 啊？ Didn't know 啊，不知道什么呢？我们来听一下啊。
it until the practice of catching birds and putting
是直到啊，直到什么 practical？ 我们来看它不知道到底是什么。
rings on their legs became established. Before this, very little information was available.
Little information 是不是也可以对应这个 little was known？OK 啊 ，little information, little was known 啊，知道的还很少，相关的信息不多。关于什么的信息不多呢？
About the actual destinations of particular species and how they traveled there.
OK, destinations and how they travel there 啊 ，how they travel there 不就对应了这个 journeys 吗？他们旅途啊 ，travel 和 journey 可以对应啊。这边并列的就是 destinations 啊 ，little information about destinations 啊，我们直接来听。
Before this, very little information was available about the actual destinations.
Okay, very little information is available about the 什么 destinations 啊，他说是什么最后的什么 actual destinations 啊，实际上的这个目的地啊。OK， 我们继续往下听。
Of particular species and how they traveled there. People speculated that larger birds provided a kind of taxi service for smaller birds by carrying them on their backs. This idea came about because it seemed impossible that small birds
Impossible 是不是同义替换了这边的这个 incapable 不可能啊，不可能的，不可能怎么样呢？这些小鸟不可能怎么样
weighing only a few grams could fly over vast oceans.
？Vast oceans, vast 是同义替换了 huge， 后面直接填 oceans 复数，听清楚啊 ！Fly over 不就 travel across 嘛 ？Fly over 啊，飞越。OK， 我们再听一下这边的单复数啊，大家一定注意。
This idea came about because it seemed impossible that small birds, weighing only a few grams, could fly over vast oceans.
Oceans 非常这清楚的复数啊，继续往下听，这边有一个什么东西啊，一个专有名词叫什么名字
This idea was supported by observations of bird behavior, such as the harassment of larger birds by smaller birds. The development of bird ringing by a Danish schoolteacher, Hans Christian Cornelius Mortensen, made many discoveries possible. This is still common practice today and relies upon what is known as recovery.
What is known as What is known as 是可以对应这边的known as known as What is known as 是不是可以对应这边 call 后面他说是什么 recovery 恢复 OK 我们继续往下听
This is when ringed birds are found dead in the place they have migrated to and identified. Huge amounts of data were gathered in the early part of the 20th century, and for the first time in history,
第一次什么
people understood where birds actually went to in winter. In 1931, an atlas was published showing where the most
An atlas was published 同义替换 print 吧 OK 出版的是 atlas 一个地图册
species of European birds migrated to. More recent theories about bird migration vary widely.
OK， 这就是这篇 Part 4啊，比较常规，大家一定把这些同义替换积累好啊。看这边标橙色的都是同义替换啊，内容非常多。